All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, to Public Land Savages. We're missing Crossbow Ken again today, but glad to be back. And season's winding down. Well, rifle season's over. Muzzleloader has started in New York, but Pennsylvania doesn't come in till day after Christmas. A little bit of rough gun season for us, but it's still nice to be out in the woods. Maybe we'll get to hum with some snow here shortly. I don't know, you guys. I haven't seen any significant snow yet this season, even in West New York, which is normally big up there. But in other exciting news, we got some hats in, some real nice fancy hats. Andrew acquired for us. Can't wait to get my hands on one of them.
Certainly,
That you can.
Sitting here with my new baby, I got to get a hanger for it, but
Turned out sweet.
it did. It looks a lot darker.
looks a
Almost
lot
looks like
bigger when it's right in front of the
it's like
camera too.
chocolate horns. Well, yeah, yeah, I've definitely shot. I mean, some of them on the wall there got bigger mass for sure. This definitely probably one of the widest, almost 18 inches wide. 11 point with just a little stick or so points wise. I've never scored. I might have to score some of these just to kind of compare. I mean, I like the mass box. A couple of them. Doug was with me the one rifle season. Um, just heavy horns. I like those heavy horn bucks, but I mean something about this nice wide, mainframe 10, a little sticker, call it 11. But
Yeah, be glad you got him in archery season because rifle
yeah.
season was just a flat out bust.
Oh, it was. I mean, everything just disappeared. And I was just watching some the other day. It's like, they just claim they'll show back up on camera in the next couple of weeks. So I'm just not so sure. I think we're long enough. They did extend New York season. So that's the one downside of going season to season in New York. Goes archery right into gun, right into muzzleloader. The deer just stay spooked, and stay bedded during the day. They're just nocturnal because it's just pressure never lets off. Pennsylvania gets a little break in the pressure, but that day after Christmas, a little busy. Then after that, it just kind of tanks off. I've seen a lot of deer early January in Pennsylvania. I'm not good with flintlock, but I do like to take the bow for a walk every now and again. I think you got to be mobile in January, though, in late season. It's very hard to sit in a tree. Conditions are crap. And, you know, speaking of that, I was just talking to you guys, sent that thing around. Is Pennsylvania is actually advertising this year to kill more doe. I think it said something like 67% of antlerless tags aren't filled.
Hmm.
Honestly, I I don't think that's by choice for at least 40% of those tags. Um, I know growing up, in northwestern Pennsylvania, 30 deer was not uncommon to see on the first day.
No,
And that was a Monday. Season used to open. We used to go spotting, and we would see 100 deer in an evening, before the season starts. That is non-existent now. I don't know how they're doing their statistics anymore or how they're doing their deer counts anymore, but honestly, it's just a shame. It's an embarrassment anymore. It's just Pennsylvania used to be number one in hunters. We were passed this year by Texas. We're down to what, 400,000, something like that. We used to be over a million. And these people are still out there. I know a lot of guys, especially old timers, they don't even want to hunt. They're not seeing nothing. There's no snow. I mean, regardless of that, even if you didn't have snow, as long as you're seeing stuff, I mean, it makes it difficult to shoot. But, you're seeing deer, keeps you more apt to be in the woods, helps you get up in the morning. Rifle season, I have a hell of a time getting up in the morning because it's painful. I mean, I see them going in the dark, I jump them, and then they're just like ghosts. I just see trails running in thickets, and they're just in there all day. You know, it's it's just a damn shame. I don't know what the logic is. We've heard it for years is buck to doe ratio, buck to doe ratio. Pennsylvania was 12 to 1, 12 does to one buck or 10 to 1. And they're trying to shorten it up because they always said Iowa was 2-1, all these big buck states. Well, look at even Iowa's on the decline. I sent that post out this year. What most Pope and Young is Wisconsin now.
Mm-hmm.
And then Illinois. I think Illinois is second. Iowa was fifth or something like that. I mean, they're really tanking down. I don't know if it's
Wow.
just a private land situation out there. It's just so difficult to get tags. But I mean, Michigan's up there as well. You like to see these good public land hunting states really take over on the Pope and Young. Boone and Crockett as well. It's just nice to see them having. They got nutrition though. We don't have nutrition. I don't
Yeah.
know a spot in Pennsylvania other than some isolated small areas that are predominantly farmland. Lancaster's predominantly farmland, but you also have predominantly Amish, which heavy hunters. I mean,
You
they'll
think?
wipe, yeah, they'll wipe deer right out. But otherwise, it's not the Corn Belt, so we don't have nutrition. Like I can pick out Pennsylvania bucks from the Western New York bucks we hunt because the Western New York bucks are field deer, corn deer, soybean deer, heavy horns. Because even the big deer I get on camera in Pennsylvania, the big deer I see, that they might be high and wide, but they're thin horn, and I strictly think that's a nutrition thing. And I really hope Pennsylvania's got a better answer than shooting more does, because I'm not sure how the buck to doe ratio. I understand the buck to doe ratio is supposed to breed larger bucks. I don't know if it's less competition or, for food or whatever it is, or for females, but the dominant buck breeds anyways. So, I mean, that's the nature of the game. They run off smaller bucks. I mean,
Right.
run on public land, snort wheeze on public land. You'll send a small six running for the hills. It's the dominant buck rules the roost. That's what it is. The bigger you are, the more you get to mate. The older you are, the more you get to mate. So I'm not sure why killing off childbearing deer is going to produce more quality deer.
Thing with
Like
PA though, I I mean, how many guys actually report their harvest numbers too? I mean, you're relying on that stuff, but
yeah. Oh,
how
I
many
mean,
people don't do it?
there's always a margin of error, but to be 67% not filled, like that's just lack of deer.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
mentioned,
and it's become lack of guys now. Like the gates you used to see 20 trucks at, then rifle. I pull up and there's like 4 vehicles. I'm like, what the hell happened? Because nobody wants to go out. Everybody's just gonna get a crossbow, and then hope the rut plays a factor. But you're gonna oversaturate the woods in archery, and you're gonna ruin archery. And you're still not gonna get more hunting numbers. How do you get more hunting numbers? Deer. They want to see deer, whether they're successful or not. They want to see deer. I mean, I can barely get my son to go out in Pennsylvania because I mean we've been out a handful of times. He hasn't seen a deer in the daytime.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
discouraging for a kid.
yeah, yeah.
oh
Well,
yeah,
how do you
hard
get
to get
new
them to go back
people to
out.
how do you get people to start in the sport? Let's go sit in the woods and stare at trees while we freeze. You know, it's it's not ideal. Like even if you don't get a shot, which he learned this year, we went to Western New York is, we saw 7 deer, but trying to get him in the scope. He's only 10, so he can't stabilize the rifle by himself. So, try to get him in the scope, try to get him stopped and get a clean shot. And I'm very adamant, you just don't take bad shots because it's something you need to teach early because, so many of us have seen just bad shot after bad shot or picture of just busted up deer. But I mean, Pennsylvania needs to get their act together. We used to be the leading state for game commission for hunting. We set an example. That's why we had 1 million hunters. That's why people flocked here to hunt. And you just keep handing out doe tags is not the answer.
I think the
I,
problem is we switched to the units instead of the county for the tags a while back. And think of how big these freaking units are. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
they got all kinds of different farmlands and big woods and all kinds of different
Well,
terrain. And then how do
say
you factor that into the allocations?
one
Hmm.
side of the unit could be decimated and the other side could be
Mm-hmm.
great. You know what I mean? You should is if you're going to establish units by kill, by factors of people seeing deer. And we're not talking your surveys because I don't care what you do. They used to count piles of scat, but That's not an accurate measurement. You know, we got deer in Western New York that bed in the same spot for what now, Doug? Weeks?
Mm-hmm.
They're there every day, all day. They come out, they go in the mornings, come out in the evenings. They don't go far, but there's going to be scat all over in there. Now, we don't go in there to bump them out. We don't want to disturb them, but what do you see 20 piles of shit in there for 3 deer? Like
Right.
that's not an accurate account of how many deer are in there. And you can't
No.
survey deer. They're in the woods. Like unless you're using thermal, high tech military shit, how do you have an accurate count of deer? You need to
Right.
start listening to people that have been in the woods. And Pennsylvania is awful at that. Like they're just like, I heard the head of the game commission say, well, some people want to see a lot of deer and other people want to see quality deer. Well, I'm not seeing either. So I would rather see 20 freaking does on any given day
Oh yeah.
than, you know, a one trail cam picture of I had a big nine. Whoop de doo, that thing's a ghost. It's 1 a.m. I think it was 1 or 2 a.m. It was. Never seen them in daylight. Got a
Mm-hmm.
pile of guys hunting them. They probably all got night pictures. That thing's buried somewhere. And, the only thing you might get lucky in rifle, somebody shoots them out of there, but there are not enough guys to do that anymore.
I mean, I've got some clue what I'm doing when it comes to whitetail and archery, especially. And I went out 20 plus times in the 2022 archery season, and I saw 3 deer from a
Yeah,
stand. 3 deer in 20
Wow.
plus sits.
Wow.
that's that. Yeah, listen to hunters. Like we're telling you, the deer aren't there. Like,
Right.
how many different counties do I hunt in? You know, I hunt in the northwestern part of the state. I hunt in the central part of Pennsylvania. I hunt in western New York. There's a decline everywhere. I mean, western New York, we clearly see more deer, but there's still a decline from what it's been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And rifle season is frankly garbage, absolute garbage. I mean, I don't want to go. I feel terrible for my son. I feel terrible for, you guys, kids. Like, how are you going to grow up and get somebody interested in something? You might as well just start turkey hunting. I see
Mm-hmm.
plenty of turkeys. But you can't get someone interested or seasoned if you don't see deer of any sorts. You know, I shot a tiny little 5 point when I was younger. I was happier than shit.
Oh
But
yeah.
I haven't seen it. I saw one shooter buck in PA. Well, I wouldn't say shooter. I passed him up, but he was a mainframe eight. He probably went 15, 16. Well, he was a nice basket eight. He was heavy horn for a mountain deer, for a Pennsylvania public land mountain deer. But, it's just got to let him go. Hopefully he survives. And maybe he'll be, a real deal next year. But you just, there's so much pressure in their rifle. Guys know he's in there. So people are going to go after him. It's sad, though. You're right. I don't know how many sits I did, but I saw less than 10 deer in PA archery and one possible shooter, for some people, one legal, let's put it that way, one legal shooter. I saw spikes, a couple of different spikes, and only a handful of does. I bet you I saw three, 4 does. That's it.
I think I saw 3 in archery.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that is terrible. Like, what's the buck to doe ratio giving you? So, okay, there's a good buck to doe ratio. I probably saw more bucks than I did does, but not quality bucks and just not seeing deer. Like even in archery, like I'm going off archery. I didn't see anything. And in PA rifle, I saw one ass cheek. That's it. Don't even know what it was. But and I'm talking archery, and this should be your premier season. And I know guys say, got to get back in there. You got to do this. I got cameras out. I've been in the area. I'm a mile back in. These electric bikes have changed the game as far as that goes. Hey, they're going to ban them here soon, because why let people have access anywhere? It's just, you'll find a problem. Pennsylvania will find some sort of problem with that. But bring nutrition in, common sense, rules. Like flintlock is dead. Let it go. If you're going to let people crossbow hunt all of archery season, but then late season after Christmas, you're only going to let them use a flintlock. I mean, you can use a
Yeah.
bow and a crossbow. You might as well use a crossbow. And
Right.
then, like I was telling you guys earlier, if you have a buck tag in late season, you can use it as a doe tag only if you use a flintlock, but not if you use a bow, which makes zero sense.
Hmm.
And get with the times. Just
That's strange.
it's inlines or nothing. Like
Yeah,
the
you got to be
flintlock.
able to see inlines and crossbows as one and the same,
Yeah, if you're gonna add
in relation to bows and
do a flintlock season like a dedicated week flintlock season or something. It's, some of them guys, old guys like smoke sticks, but I'm telling you, young kids don't want nothing to do with flintlock. Right? Inlines are easier to shoot. You still only get one shot. You're not really. It's a better weapon. You can shoot farther. It's more accurate, so you have better kills. Eh, I don't see a downside. If you want more people to be in the woods and you want more deer killed, theoretically, you want everybody to fill these analyst tags. Why don't you let them use inlines in late season? Ohio
right.
inline, New York inline, Colorado inline. Like I don't know another state that still uses that requires you to use a flintlock in a muzzleloader season. I mean, it's just to get equipment and supply. One drop of water ruins your whole hunt. If you're seeing zero deer and you got to sit there and combat, I put a sock over my barrel in years past flintlock hunting, but I used to see a lot of deer. I'm not traipsing out there with a flintlock to see zero deer and have to babysit that gun all day. You got to babysit the flashbang. You got to babysit the barrel. Guys notoriously bottoms of the barrel. It's just,
Here you go, right here. I just looked it up. Pennsylvania is the only state that dedicates a deer season to flintlock muzzleloader.
yeah, it's garbage. Like we are antiquated. Our deer population is decimated. You know, Inner cities, you'll see suburbs in inner cities, all these stories about overpopulation of deer. You know what they do? They kill them, relocate them. You have what, multi-million or billion-dollar industry based off deer, and you're just shooting them. Like Philadelphia, I know they do that in the parks. They hire snipers
Yeah,
and kill them.
Pittsburgh does
Like,
too.
yeah, it's a waste. Dart the deer then. You know, all these people out here, they got a donate deer program around here. You can shoot your deer and donate it to people, needy people or people that can't hunt, want the meat. I did that years ago. I think Doug did too. There used to be a little lady in town. She get you a gift card. You just drop the deer off for her.
You donated your meat to an old lady.
Yeah,
Many times.
do that all the time, especially if they have private land.
For a gift card.
Sometimes Justin will go right after me.
Yeah, for a home cooked meal. Hey, Sharon's Karen. But
Did you boil some sandwiches?
I never even met her. But I just wish Pennsylvania would get on board. Big buck states have nutrition. They got all these fields they call I forget what the name of them are. And these deer fences. Remember the deer fences days old? You don't see them too much anymore, but back in the day we had deer fences everywhere, keep deer out of it. So the habitat, there's fucking nothing special growing in there. It's the same
No.
shit that's growing outside of there.
What was that? What was that one always go by? It was turkey habitat feeding or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Never
And they
saw one
have,
single turkey in
and
it.
then some of them you could, you could go in the gate and hunt because they jump the damn fence anyways, or a tree would knock it down. It's just nonsense. Like seed is cheap. You already have the equipment. You already have the people. Plant food plots. Like clover is dirt freaking cheap. You could plant corn. You could actually get farmers and other hunters to participate in a program. Give them the seed for free and let them go plant it on public land. That throw and grow stuff grows in here. You got to rake leaves out of the way. What do you do? I'll do it. I know millions of people would. You give them the opportunity, but honestly, you can't go into national forest or state forest and plant anything. You're not supposed to take
People
anything
plant
out.
some plants out there, but
Yeah, and the
not the
cops
ones
are
we're looking
chasing you
for.
down. Yeah, yeah. And then they start growing bait piles out there too. I mean, baiting's huge in Pennsylvania. They say yearly they catch, what do they say, like 10% of the people that actually bait. And the only way they catch them is other hunters turn them in.
Yep.
Well, no shit. What do you get if you don't see deer? You're gonna pour a bunch of corn out. At least somebody's feeding them. But
Or
I mean,
squirrels and raccoons.
if you used your money, planted food plots, lowered, antlerless tags for a couple years, and just release a newsletter, say everybody just sacrifice 2 years, we'll build the herd back up. We're going to build our nutrition back up, which will get us better quality deer, get you bigger does, bigger bucks. I mean, nutrition is a giant factor in antler size.
Or knock it back to 1 week or 3 days instead of the concurrent two
Something.
weeks.
You got to
Right.
reduce the number killed, not increase. I mean, they're literally paying it for advertisements to tell you to kill more deer.
Oh yeah. How
And
many
then,
people do you know have all these 2 doe tags, 2 DMAP tags, and everything else?
oh, yeah. I mean, I know people get a handful of DMAP tags, and I still don't think they're really seeing deer. Most of those DMAP areas are wiped. You got to get there first day, or they're
Mm-hmm.
just wiped. But, I think it's big money, honestly, that's affecting hunting it because it's definitely, they're not listening to hunters because hunters are screaming in Pennsylvania. I don't know a guy that's happy about the state of Pennsylvania's deer herd.
No, I think the insurance company and those folks have more say than
Well,
what we're
yeah,
listening to
they got
hunters.
lobbyists and stuff, but you know, money speaks, and when you're half the hunters you used to be 20 years ago, that's a big freaking deal.
Right.
Heads need to start falling. Honestly,
Well,
people need to start being held accountable for it.
thinking about that too. I mean, what do you think's killing the deer population and making it so we don't see shit? Because with number of hunters being down over the years
Yeah,
as well. I mean,
yeah, you got motivated. I think the herd's been decimated for 10 years or more, and we're
mhm.
just piling on. They just add more tags and add more tags.
The
It's just
game
giving people.
commission, the game commission will tell you the herd's stable if you go on their website and read
Oh
their
yeah, yeah,
reports.
yeah. They say that every year. They say the herd's up, and then they say part of that tag thing. They say click this link to find out why the link's broke. Yeah, probably because they don't have a reason. Like, I understand people have private land and want to kill off does and isolate bigger bucks. Yeah, that's small herd management. If you don't have deer, period, well, you can't manage any type of herd.
Right.
And then we go and hear about Colorado releasing wolves, which that's just another like what the fuck moment because it's like I mean bears already decimate calves, elk calves, fawns. That's the delicacy for them. They just go around and it's easy meal. If they can find them, they're dead. They're good as dead. And then you
I
release.
gotta, I gotta imagine the ranchers have got to be pissed.
I know. But for our end, I'm more worried about the wildlife. I understand the ranchers are gonna be pissed. You're taking money. Cattle are gonna
Mhm.
die.
Right.
Wolves are smart. They hunt in packs. They're not just a bear trying to charge something, then they give up. Once they outrun them, bears just give up. Wolves don't. They'll
I got
chase
a,
you till you're tired.
I got a feeling if those things aren't collared, a few of them are gonna find themselves in the dirt anyhow without anyone saying a word about it.
Well, absolutely, because I showed Doug. I said that thing. They said that's not the release date, the original release date. They said they were going to put out. They said that's the activation of the program, so they won't give out the release dates for that exact reason. Ranchers would be lined up ready to tee off on some wolves.
Oh yeah. I've got to believe every single one of those is gonna have a collar on it.
Yeah,
They
I
have to.
I understand those things existed at one time, and so did grizzly bears, but also you didn't have money affecting hunters, and you're just pushing out tags. And well, I mean, I love the over the counter tags, but you can't have both. You know what I mean? If you're gonna have revenue from over the counter, you're gonna give out tags to anybody who wants it. You can't put wolves out because then you just have predator after these poor elk. And the elk herd out there isn't exactly stellar. So, and in some places I'm sure it is, but those are high end units. Well, like we cross the street to 61 and they stay over there. There's plenty of elk over there, but they ain't going anywhere near 62.
Right.
Pressure.
Except for that one that ran through camp.
Yeah, the mystery. That's one of those wapiti, I think the Indians call it, one of them ghost elk.
All
I know.
right.
I just wish for our future and our kids' future, things change drastically and we start actually giving a crap about the deer herd, not just the money involved in the deer herd.
think we all hoped that.
Yeah, it's good to be back, Andrew. Did you ever show that picture of our hats? We'll have to,
Yeah, let me see if I can get that up real quick as we're winding down here.
yeah, get that picture of our new hats, and good luck to everybody in late season. Pennsylvania wants to kill some does, so get out there and do it, I guess.
We just pop this up real quick here.
I know we got one more deer to kill. We got something to can.
These are in the mail and we will have them soon. We're probably going to look at doing a giveaway of at least a few of them for anyone
Oh
that
yeah,
is a YouTube subscriber. So spread the good word and we should have those in the next few days.
yeah. We're gonna put them for sale as well, right? Do some giveaways, put them for
Absolutely.
sale.
Those
Yep.
will be in the add them to the store.
Yep. Head to our website, publiclandsavages.com/shop. So
Nice. Thanks for joining us. Keep plugging away.
see you next
Maybe
time.
maybe next
Good
year,
luck out there.
ladies.